Hello, it's Dominic, and this is week 7 on TransformersFTM, and this week's topic is growing up, childhood memories and such. So, well, I'll turn my music down. Paramore is distracting because she's so hot. Yes, Haley. Anyway, as far as childhood memory goes, I had some pretty crappy moments growing up, so I think I've repressed a lot of stuff. But out of my best childhood memories that still remain, most of them either involve swimming pools or my grandpa. Some of the happiest times of my life were in water. I was obsessed with swimming pools growing up. There was something about the water that would center me, make me feel at peace. I guess I couldn't get enough of it. I went on a lot of road trips with my grandparents, and we'd always absolutely have to get a hotel with a swimming pool. It had to have a swimming pool. And if it didn't have one, I would make a scene. And of course, knowing my grandpa, he didn't want me to be upset. So sometimes that meant driving around a city in the middle of the night looking for a hotel with vacancies and a swimming pool. There was one time we tried several different hotels in one night, and none of them had swimming pools. But of course, Grandpa kept trying until he found one. Bless him. If we got to a hotel and the swimming pool was closed, I would be absolutely devastated, like depressed. I don't know what it was about swimming pools with me. I had this big thing with them. Like, I felt at home in the water. If we stayed at a hotel without a pool, then they'd take me somewhere with a pool. There's this amazing water park in Minnesota. That was my favorite. And there were times when we were on the road, Nanny, my grandma, and I would sneak into hotels we weren't actually staying at to use their pool. And when we weren't on the road, sometimes for a treat, Nanny and Grandpa, or Mom and Dad, usually Nanny and Grandpa, would take us into the city, which was about 45-minute drive to a hotel with a swimming pool or a water park, and we'd stay there for the weekend. I really enjoyed that. It was like a huge treat for me. Also, whenever I went to Scotland to see my dad or other relatives, there were some pretty amazing water parks there. Over there, they call them leisure centers, I guess. There was a great one in Dundee and another one in Perth. And they had everything, and water slides of all kinds, a heated wave pool, hot tubs, even this really neat pool that, like, pushed you around. I guess a whirlpool, but it wasn't a hot tub. It was literally a pool attached to the wave pool that was in a circle shape. And I think there was a hot tub in the center of it or something that you could climb into. But this circular pool thing had this strong current, and it would push you around whatever was in the middle. It was crazy. I remember when I was really little, I was scared of the current because it was so intense. Enough about swimming pools. My favorite subjects in school were art, drama, language arts, English, anywhere where I could express my creativity, really. I had a huge, ridiculously huge imagination. I was seriously in a fantasy world most of the time, and I think it made the crappy stuff that happened more bearable. My first crushes were probably celebrities, mostly male. I can't name them all off. There's just too many. I had crushes on fellow students, too, girls and boys. I was obsessed with my best friend in grade 4. Really liked her. She was actually my first kiss. We wanted to try kissing, so we locked ourselves in the girls' locker room in the shower, and we tried it. We were inseparable for a while, but I had issues with being dependent, and I became very clingy with her. And she decided to tell her parents that I did stuff with her and that it was my idea and that I essentially coerced her. And, well, her parents told my parents, and that was the end of that relationship. My biggest crush ever was on the lead singer of Hanson, Taylor Hanson. I was obsessed for years. My parents thought it was a very unhealthy obsession and tried to get me to take down the 500 posters I had on my walls and ceiling. But what they didn't know was that infatuation was only half of the story. I actually wanted to be the guy. I thought, okay, if he can have blonde hair and be a boy, then so can I. I dyed my hair blonde, got a rat tail in my hair like he had, dressed like him for a while, even tried to act like him. He was the boy I initially tried to model myself after. Of course, it didn't last long before people were like, you're not a boy, stop being stupid. And I did my best to do what all the other girls were doing, you know, the makeup and the pretty plunging necklines and stuff like that. Yeah, aside from my wanting to be Taylor Hanson, there weren't really any signs growing up that I was trans. And I was kind of like, you know, I lived in a family that was basically like, males do this, females do this, so I just went along with whatever I was told, basically. I was very pressured to do things like, I guess, play with dolls. Not that I had a huge problem with it, you know, and wear dresses, but I would have liked to do other things as well, you know. The thing I wanted to be more than anything when I grew up was a radio DJ. I used to pretend that I had my own radio show and make tapes of me. I'd introduce songs, then play songs. I'd interview my siblings or do cartoon voices and interview those characters. I'd do pretend news, stuff like that. Then I'd send the radio show tapes to my grandparents, and they really enjoyed that. I'd give them like an update, you know, 4 times a year or whatever with little tapes. So yeah, so that was my childhood. I'm really glad I got through this video without it cutting off. Alright, so that's it for this week, and well, I'm off to make another video now. Take care. Ciao.